Hello everyone, Preston here with another video. This time we're going to be working on a fan art of Eula? I really have a tough time trying to pronounce her name, but she's from the Genshin Impact game. She was one of the last updates that they did, and I got her, and I've been loving her. She's becoming my new main on the game, and I think that you guys will enjoy this process of me working through and illustrating her in a fan art manner. If you do like what I work on and how things are, please like, comment what you guys think and what I should do next, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. And let's just jump right into this video. Alrighty, so with this piece, again, I had a lot of fun working on this character and this piece because there was a lot of process and time that went into this. You can see that I went through many different iterations of thumbnails for this piece and ultimately decided onto this final design because in the game Genshin Impact, this character Eula is supposed to be a dancer as well as a claymore slash big sword user. So I wanted to implement both of that into this character's illustration for fan art, and it was very intricate to try to get that pose down correctly without taking too much effort into my own time. So it was super hard for me to decide on that, so on Twitch we had a vote, but with that we finally decided on this illustration process, and it's been going through on this sketch phase and now into the line art on the different ways that I improved this piece through the illustration process. Like I said, I main this character now because not only is she a DPS type character, but she's supposed to be mainly a tank claymore character, so she has a little bit of both. And I know there's ways in Genshin to be able to add a healing effect to her attacks as well, which I don't really want to do because I have a healer already that I'm using. But this has been really fun to work on her, especially since I got really lucky with getting her in one of my roles recently. And I think it's really cool that I was able to and see where the process of this illustration was going. Now, if you haven't noticed yet, I'm spending a lot more time than I normally do on the line art process for this artwork as much as I normally do, because I wanted to figure out ways for me to use line art more into my artwork, and I felt like it would help me implement more into the process of figuring out where everything is in the piece instead of winging it through the painter process that I normally have been doing. And that's been something that I want to work on and try to push myself. And that might be one of the reasons why this piece took a little longer than normal, because the line art was a decent chunk of the whole process. It took me about 2 days to work on the line art, and I felt like this was a great process for me to try to push things a little bit more in my artwork and see the details through and through on this piece. And I feel like I could possibly push it a little faster later on and going a little more smoother with different brushes maybe, or different ways to implement this process. And that's the cool thing about art, is that it's a learning process and constantly learning. Yes, you can be a master at one thing, but you're always going to be constantly learning about the different aspects of the art. Like in this spot where you see that I'm having a lot more skin showing, but later on I'll be covering a lot of it up because there's this tights fabric like stuff that is on her clothing that she uses in the game that I didn't realize until I took a deeper look into the concept art as well as the base official illustrations or even the 3D modeling, and I noticed these things and I was like, okay, so I have to implement that. And I wanted to make sure that the skin tone was still there when I rendered out the image, so I added color over the skin tone to help me keep that in the process and in mind. And I try to look as much forward with this art piece as I did looking at what I was doing now with the different ways I was making this piece look a little bit more. And I'm trying to test out different things that I've seen online, through Pinterest, through other YouTubers and artists that I've seen throughout the internet that have been influential in my processes in the past, and trying to see how they could implement that into my work and see where it would go through the final design. And I feel like it could have done a little bit better in my testing, but it did turn out very well, and I love the way that the illustration finally turned out. You'll notice also that I have the eyelashes as more of a blue because I wanted to test out to see if I could actually make a good looking eyelash with the Jujutsu Kaisen Gojo eyelashes style, and seeing if I could do that. I actually liked the way that it was going through the process and seeing where things were turning out with these eyelashes, but in the end I decided to go against it and seeing what I can do next. With this entire piece though, I realized that my rendering process took a lot longer than I expected to, because a majority of this piece is going to be all rendering, and this video is going to be mostly just me rendering out the fabrics and trying to make sure that they're correct and seeing where everything is going, because that's kind of where the process took me. It took me into more of a process of adding more colors than I normally do, making things more vibrant, and just trying to push myself as an artist, trying to make these fabrics look correct in my illustration style. That was something that I did not expect was going to actually happen through this piece, and with me just trying to focus in on the character and the design and everything like that, it was interesting to see where she turned out to be and what was going on with her as a character, because I spent on-stream hours, I spent off-stream hours working on this character and this illustration, so much time that I knew I wanted to continue working on her and just make sure that she was just turning out the way that I feel she needed to be as one of my art pieces. And this actually reminded me a lot of when I was working on my Evelyn piece back in September, with how everything went and turned out to be, and seeing the whole process being pushed into a stronger, more well-rounded illustration. And I just kept jumping around trying to make sure that everything looked whole with this character. Now, one thing that I feel is interesting is seeing how I developed to this character through the illustration process, and where I pushed things a little bit more and where I didn't. That's something that I didn't expect of me as an illustrator, as an artist, as a fan artist, as a YouTuber, whatever, is that there's a lot of areas where I pushed a lot more than I thought I was going to. But then there's other areas where I was like, this doesn't need to be pushed as much. Now, I could talk your ear off for days or hours about how I rendered this piece out and the different materials that I did and how I figured out how to render the gold, which I felt like I did the gold just perfect. But honestly, if you guys have any questions about how I render anything in this piece, or what my process was in any specific part of this piece, please let me know in the comments. That would be awesome for me to know what I could do tutorials on in the future, or what you guys think I should talk about, because this has been super fun to see where my process is leading towards, and I definitely want to know what you guys think about my full video process and seeing what things can come up of my artwork, because this has been super fun. If you want to see other pieces in the future or whatnot, please comment what you guys think. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because that will help out with me and understanding that you guys want to watch stuff, and likes help with the algorithm and everything. But this has been super fun seeing where this art piece was going, and it was definitely interesting to try implementing different colors into the rendering as I went along, just to give a little bit more feel to this piece. And I feel like that's a huge process with being an artist is not just trying to stick to a grayscale of shading, but also trying to bump things up into more color, or adding things a little bit of here with vibrancy or saturation, things like that, just to add a little bit more contrast on your art pieces. And that's something that I really enjoyed about this, is trying to figure out where I can add different colors, not just making it as smooth as possible gradient, but trying to add different layers of processes with this piece. And I think that this has been one of my better pieces so far, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Again, hope you guys do, and I'll talk to you guys at the end.
If I were to the sea, baby, I never say, for I will fall into the light. Every time I try to breathe, the moon will rise and carry me, for I've loved and I have died. So I won't hold back, and you should know that what's never gone just have regrets. So I won't go back, oh Lord, guide me to forget the time I lost with no regrets, and the moon shine back again. And the moon shine back again. When I drove down to Abyss, while I blame the world's neglect, Lord, I shine right back again. So I won't hold back, and you should know that
All I need is 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes with you. Let me give it a one last shot. Will I ever get through to you? Oh, am I wasting my time? Should I leave for the night? It's unclear at the moment. Can you give me a sign? I'm here trying and trying. I need 10 more minutes with you. So let me know if you gave up hope. Do I leave you alone or I leave you alone? So let me know if you gave up hope by now. So let me know if you gave up hope. Do I leave you alone or I leave you alone? So let me know if you gave up hope. I need 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes with you. Yeah, I just wanna go back home. Can't do this anymore. I can't get through to you. So fighting for what all those rumors true? Or were you trying to get a rise out of me? A rise out of me? Or I don't wanna make it all about me again. But I don't even know half the things you said.
Thank you everyone for watching the video all the way through for this one. I know it was a little longer than normal, but I hope you guys all enjoyed the process and what went on through this art piece. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, it helps out with the algorithm. Also, please leave a comment what you guys think I should work on next. Should I do another Genshin Impact character since I've done 3 of them already? Or should I do something else? If you liked some of my work, please check out my links down below if you're new here. And seeing what else I've done in the past and see all the different artwork that I've made in the past year or so alone. It's been fantastic. I love the stuff that I've been making. And thank you again for watching, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Bye.